Well, folks, here we are again for the weekly forecast. Before we get to the main forecast, let's take a little bit of a look at what's happened over this last 7-day period. Last week, before the holiday weekend, of course, we talked about the potential for some snow breaking out into the Central Plains in association with a system moving through the Central and Northern Rockies. Indeed, that did pan out. We did see some snowfall break out across the Panhandle during the Sunday afternoon into the evening hours and carried through on the day on Monday. And we've seen precipitation, accumulation of snowfall in the 3 to 7 inch range, pretty common across portions of the Northern Panhandle through north central Nebraska. Very welcome moisture, but it really dropped off from there. As we went to the southeast, we did see some accumulating snowfall trace amounts, but nothing in the way of any significant moisture. We're going to need to see many more of these events before we feel comfortable that at least we can start to degrade some of the extreme and exceptional drought conditions across a vast majority of the state. Is there anything in the forecast? Well, let's take a look at the upper air models and see whether or not any more precipitation might be in store. First thing I'll draw your attention to is we do have kind of a zonal flow. So waves are going to be moving rather rapidly across the region. That means we're not going to get a lot of Gulf moisture in advance of these systems, so we don't expect significant moisture, at least in the central and southern plains. But on the western United States, as this moisture comes on board, they're expecting upwards of a foot of liquid equivalent moisture in northern California and southern Oregon. So some very heavy snowfall in the mountains and some flooding conditions as you get toward the Pacific coast. Now, as this system starts to make its way inland, we are going to see our winds back out to the southwest. So today is going to be very warm, but even warmer conditions are in store tomorrow as we do get that southwesterly flow before this front starts to rapidly move toward the Great Lakes and cool conditions off. So as we get into Saturday or Sunday afternoon, we do expect the cloud conditions to increase. And the only moisture that's indicated by the models is maybe a slight little bit of light shower activity across south central and southeast Nebraska, and even at that, models only putting out about 5/100ths of an inch of total precipitation. So by the time we get to Monday, the system has raced across and we'll start to see some cooler air filter into our region for a couple days, bring us back down to more normal to slightly above normal or below normal temperatures. And then as we get into Tuesday, the system moves into the Great Lakes and we start to see ridging reboot back in. The temperatures will start to rise rather dramatically as we bump our temperature up about 10 degrees on Tuesday, and by the time we get to Wednesday, we'll look for some fairly benign conditions as we again get into this zonal flow. So mild and dry looks to be the order. As we get into Thursday, we will notice that another trough drops down rather rapidly, and this is going to bring some cold air into the region, and there is a potential, we'll have to watch this, that we could get some snowstorm activity somewhere in the plains. It's just a little too early to tell, but there is those conditions that do say there is the possibility, and much significantly cooler air will start to move into our region. And by the time we get to Friday, this system will start to move its way up toward the Great Lakes, and we would expect quite a bit of wind with this. So as we go to the 8 to 14 day forecast, we'll keep the warmth to our southwest from next Thursday to the following Tuesday in terms of precipitation, wet to the north, dry to the south. In terms of temperatures, we're going to see some very nice temperatures this weekend, anywhere from the 50s and 60s to almost 70 on Sunday. Then we start to cool back down to 40s on Tuesday, and then we start the gradual warm up back up into the 60s as we get later into the week, and the possibility of precipitation moving in on Friday.